Welcome back to the Underrated Pod, as always, North America. I am Dave DeBaugh, coming to you live and on tape from the heart of the Silicon Valley. On today's show, we are going to talk about Chris Carter actually absolutely torturing Skip Bayless. That is the topic on the Underrated Pod today. Super quick, thanks for all of the support. 1 million plus views in the past 12 months. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe, and of course, like this video. So we are going to start tonight's show off by playing a 2-minute clip from Chris Carter's very own podcast. This is hilarious and absolutely priceless. I will be back with some final thoughts after this clip plays.
A number of years ago, I was on a show with Stephen A. and Skip Bayless. And
both of them?
Yeah, both of them, on their show.
Yeah.
I was working at ESPN doing NFL. I would do Mike Greenberg after doing my NFL stuff, and then I would come on there because Stephen A. and I were friends. I didn't know Skip personally, and I'm going to be honest with you. Skip Bayless is not one of my favorite people.
I can imagine.
Okay. So I'm on there doing the show. I do the show and everything. And then all of a sudden, this is when the Tebow phenomenon was going on. Mm-hmm. And he was a huge Tim Tebow guy. You know, this guy is this.
I remember it.
Okay.
Oh.
So I come on there on a Monday. And, you know, we're trading barbs and everything. We go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I just level set it and was like, listen, if throwing the football is important in the NFL, Tim Tebow will never be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yep.
So he got defensive, and then he came back and said, well, that's why you didn't win a Super Bowl. Okay.
So what'd you say?
Which got nothing to do with nothing.
Agreed.
We went to commercial break.
So you didn't say nothing before commercial? He just said his...
No.
Okay. Good man.
I took my earpiece out, and I told him, I'll never be on your show again.
Yeah.
And if you ever say anything like that to me again, I'll punch you right in the fucking face.
Good for you. That's why I like you. What did he say?
He couldn't say anything because I got up. I'm off the set. Then the producers came. Hey, Chris, no, it's not necessary. Then the people came from the back. Stephen A. was like, Chris, man, this is not. I was like, bro, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing. I'll never be on another show. I won't be on this show ever again as long as he's on here.
Correct.
So that was Chris Carter talking about Skip Bayless. He was going way back in the time machine, if you will. You know, sometimes in the world, old news does become new news again, and this is certainly a case of that actually happening. The clip in question that Chris Carter was actually talking about actually took place over 12 years ago. Talk about holding on to some thoughts. I mean, Chris Carter's had a podcast. Chris Carter's been on the air, on and off the air for a long time since he last encountered Skip Bayless. There was certainly an opportunity ahead of this to actually have this discussion. Now, maybe Chris Carter thought it was a good idea to wait until Skip was disgraced. Maybe this is just another case of people absolutely piling on Skip Bayless. Now, my personal thoughts on Skip Bayless are basically one of absolute confusion. On one hand, you have a guy that actually helped create the medium that you're actually watching today. In other words, he helped actually create podcasts, and he helped create the round the table sports commentary that we see. Now, it's not surprising to find out that the sports commentary shows are really quite thought through before the hosts actually jump onto those shows. We'll talk about that another day, but if you will, there's a little bit of WWE scripting that goes on in these sports talk shows, especially the roundtable ones. But that's to be expected because you're trying to create an environment which actually captivates the audience. I think the knock on Skip Bayless is just that over the years, he's had numerous occasions where maybe Skip went too far. And I think this was certainly a case there. Now, Jim Rome is famous for his Chrissy Everett comments, which caused Chris Everett to throw up a table and actually attempt to land a punch at Jim Rome. There are plenty of examples in the marketplace, so to speak, where this kind of stuff has happened in the past. In terms of Skip Bayless and where does Skip Bayless go from here? Well, I'm willing to bet that between now and whenever he resurfaces, there will certainly be several other people that will come out with their "this is why I hate Skip Bayless" stories. And once again, the old news will become new news. All right, North America, that's it for the Underrated Pod today. I want to know what you think. Go ahead and drop in your comments. For the Underrated, I am Dave Dubois, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.
You've been listening to the Underrated Podcast with Dave Dubois, presented by Underrated.media.